Hi guys! Right, so this video is just a sort of debrief about my 8-gram journey. So first of all, I was terrified leading up to this experience. It was a beautiful process of really analyzing what fear is about, where it comes from, why it's there, you know, and shifting through the unknown, because that's all that fear is. It's an unknown. It's an unknown variable, and then moving through your programming. So this is before your ceremony has even started. Moving through your programming of, you know, do I really need to suffer twice, kind of thing. The other part of this process was that I was still smoking up until the experience, and it was advisable for me to quit. Obviously, you know, moving through dieta, we stick to quite a clean process with regards to the intake of food and water, or the things that we consume in our body, from the physical aspect prior to ceremony. So the one sort of unclean thing that I was still doing and that I just couldn't put down before ceremony was the rolling of tobacco. And this has been a huge thing for me through the year, as you've seen or know that I've done the iboga. And I even though the reasoning for me doing the iboga had nothing to do with smoking, but I thought that it would be a cool byproduct if I could just miraculously quit smoking. But as per my other videos, these evenings are not about miracles, they're about lessons and teaching. So needless to say, I was still smoking beforehand, and it was, you know, because I was experiencing this fear and I was stressed beforehand, there was no way that I could quit just before. Although, you know, it's sort of that point of you'll do the bare minimum at the exact time that you need to. So 24 hours before the experience, I did quit, and then moved into this beautiful experience with a new strain of mushrooms that I had never taken before, called, hold on, yeah, psilocybin cyanescence. Really beautiful strain. And I usually work with golden teachers, so sort of to explain the difference, we would describe in one word that the teachers are a shamanic experience, and these cyanescence would be a galactic experience. So just to share with you, the objective of me doing this ceremony was to put me online as such. Online meaning to really activate the light language remembering part of me. And yeah, so that was the objective for me. Of course, I had many other personal objectives, but along with the person, my facilitator, who was amazing. By the way, we'll be working together in the future with our Master Gaia gatherings. So her objective is really to map the soul within the solar system and the galaxy. So really to find out my original seeding, where my original seeding was from. It was quite an interesting process. She's obviously fully activated in her light language, so and she has I guess we would call her dimensional seer, or multidimensional seer. So she has access to, you know, what we call mapping. So that's her objective, is really to map the sky and the stars, where it is that I was from, and see what comes up. The experience obviously for me was amazing, because it was my first experience fully outdoors, no candles, no lights in the evening. It's just you, obviously your light workers and space holders with you. And sorry, I keep looking outside because I have a beautiful view in front of me, just the mountain, and it's just a beautiful day. So yeah, so really just this deeply surrendering process, and what was interesting with regards to the mapping was that we originally couldn't find, well, she couldn't find where I was from, but she could sense that it was nearby, but there was confusion with regards to its location, so it being star system. So we sort of got granted access to this, and it turned out, and she had never experienced this before, but it turned out that this was a cloaked planet, what we would describe as a cloaked star system, okay? And once unveiled, it was what we believe to be Sirius C. So if you move into Google, you won't find much on Sirius C at all. So this was really, really beautiful experience. And what was interesting was that so I have sort of my visual space, or my prophetic space is in dream space. Prior to leading up to the ceremony, I had this dream of this massive sphinx-like, almost sphinx-like lion, but it was pitch black. And I am always dreaming of whales and dolphins, always dreaming of whales and dolphins, which speaks very closely to Sirius. So the Sirius sort of star system as such is a very aquatic space predominantly, very few sort of humanoid beings on there, and essentially, or not essentially, but we had a moment through our experience where she was just going, wow, 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 and I was going, what? And what transpired was that in the space, the cats that are roaming there are all pitch black. So there were black lions that she could see into. And that was quite amazing for me, because I remember my dream so vividly, and I knew that it was a information point for me. So that was amazing. There was another thing that transpired. Sort of my channel came to light, first with regards to arm movements. If any of you have watched any light language, depending on the person that you're watching, you might see certain movements happening. And what that is, I've learned to know that this is really just preparing the frequency around you, because of course we are holding a magnetic field around us, preparing the frequency around you for what's the attunement that is coming. On that particular evening, my voice only activated to a certain degree, so it wasn't fully activated. If you are among high frequency beings, it triggers it. So my speech was odd for a couple of days afterwards, because I was attuning to the frequency. So there was a lot of stuttering, and of course I was doing a lot of integration work afterwards, you know, because I've just stepped into a super high frequency, so that is absolutely essential. And of course I just gained access and remembered something that has been dormant within my DNA for so long. So I wanted to work on that, and obviously one way to work on that is to sit and try and channel that energy again. And what was interesting was that the play between the mind and your centered heart space, because I'm someone with a strong mind, and just to share that there was really this belief, even though I went to the experiencing wanting to be switched online as such, there was this disbelief that this magic could occur for me or to me or be bestowed upon me. Even though I know the metaphysical stuff, the human me was like, this is, you know, I'm already standing in my I am presence as much as I can be. But I was quite wrong, because when that sort of switch came, I could literally feel in my brain space that a circuit board had been switched on, and that it felt rusty and dusty, and most importantly that I could feel that it was only a portion of the circuitry that had been switched on. So that's really speaking quite interestingly to, and we know this as humans, to how little of the brain is currently being used and accessed. So I could feel this in during my experience. So again, afterwards in the integration space, I was having the struggle between my mind and what had just been sort of activated, but still was dusty. And I was still having this fight between the ego and the heart. And of course, maybe the higher heart and the higher mind, and just stepping out of my own way to allow this channel and this light language to come. So it was a very interesting space at the house while I was working with this. Just a lot of stuttering and laughing because I could feel myself blocking it. So, you know, this is a lesson for all of us in life of how much we block ourselves in our daily processes, in our emotional state, in our mental state. And it's really time to get out of our own ways, you know. So that was amazing. What else can I speak to? Yeah, the light languages, for those of you that are interested, the light language really only switched on, and to be honest, I'm still tuning into it quite a bit within my ceremony space. Those of you that know me know that I do plant medicine facilitation. So that was also interesting because I've held space in a certain way for so long, and I don't know what my channel is just yet. I don't know the language. I don't know how it comes out. I really, like I said, need to get out of my way. And so I was worried about disrupting people. So I felt I was pulling the brakes on quite a bit, which was interesting as well, of really knowing that to let what will be and to surrender. So that was awesome. And when it did come on in ceremony space, or fully, when I engaged in, let me not say come on, but when I engaged fully in the channel of that energy, it was quite a beautiful and profound experience. And again, lots of laughter, be laughing in between, grounding the energy, etc., etc. So it's quite a beautiful, playful experience, or has been for me. Like I say, I think I'm still allowing myself to fully step into that power. There's a lot of changes I'll be implementing this year to allow myself to sit and receive more, because I've been more masculine in my approach, building the business, doing the business, sitting in this creation energy that's been amazing, and I've been really good at that. But in order to ground the channel that is newly opened within my space, I really need to be sitting in the feminine, and that's really just allowing more flow, which of course this channel is a flow. So yeah, so I'm still working on that. And then I will soon be preparing for another high dose journey of, again, and so the cycle continues. So guys, basically I'm saying the human experience is a continuous cycle of learning, integration, embodiment, and teaching. So I'm going through the same thing again, where, so it's a little bit of a higher dose, where I'm beginning to move through terror, a space of terror, okay, and conflict, and you know, I did a solar plexus video recently, and one of the things I left out was that in order to charge the solar plexus nicely, it's really good to do something out of your comfort zone. And I can tell you that the dosage that I'm about to do is way out of my comfort zone. So again, of course, I've got my ego stepping in, going, whoa. Maybe this isn't a good idea, but you know, then I'm aligning to the, so it's this dance and this play again. And that's what I'm allowing time for. So anyway, guys, that's just a little catch up on my high dosage 8 gram and the light language activation, or being put online, if you want to call it that. I hope you've enjoyed. Lots of luck to all of you out there experimenting. Make sure you are grounding, integrating through this embodiment process. Again, all my details are below. You know that. You're wise, amazing, empowered beings, so do what you need to. If you have any queries, let me know. Any comments, please feel free. And again, just saying goodbye in loads and loads of love to you all. Bye.